Life is full of surprises. We set goals, make schedules, and imagine how our future should look. But sometimes, life takes a completely different turn. The job we thought we'd get slips away. The relationship we prayed for ends. The opportunity we worked so hard for suddenly closes. And in those moments, we often ask, God, why is this happening? Why didn't you let my plan work? But here's the truth. God's plan is always greater than our plan. The Bible tells us in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Notice carefully, God says, I know the plans. Not you know, not your family knows, not society knows, only God knows, because He sees what we cannot see. He sees the dangers ahead, the traps, and the things that might look good today, but could destroy us tomorrow. Sometimes unanswered prayers are actually God's greatest protection. Think about this. How many times in your life did you desperately want something, but later you realized, thank God it didn't happen? That friendship, that business deal, that shortcut, you thought it was right, but looking back, it would have led you into pain. Our plans fail not because God doesn't love us, but because He loves us too much to give us something that isn't His best. Look at Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, thrown in prison. His plan was just to live a normal life, but God's plan was for him to become second in command of Egypt and save millions from famine. Or Moses. He wanted to rescue his people quickly, but God took him to the desert for 40 years to prepare him. When the time was right, God called him to lead Israel out of slavery. And the disciples of Jesus thought his death was the end of the plan. But in reality, the cross was God's ultimate plan for salvation. These stories show us that even when life looks like chaos, God is still in control. God's plan is better because He sees the bigger picture. We only see today, but He sees tomorrow. So, how do we walk in God's plan? First, pray for guidance, not just outcomes. Instead of saying, God, give me this job, say, God, place me where you want me to be. Second, be patient in waiting. God's timing is perfect, even when it feels late to us. Third, trust closed doors. If God removes something, it's because He has something better ahead. And finally, stay faithful. Don't quit praying, worshiping, or believing just because your plan didn't work. Maybe right now you feel stuck. Maybe you feel like your dreams are slipping away. But let this truth encourage you. Your story is not over. God is still writing it, and when His plan unfolds, it will be more beautiful than anything you could have written for yourself. One day, you will look back at the delays, the rejections, the heartbreaks, and you'll say, now I understand. God was protecting me. God was preparing me. God's plan was better. So today, surrender your plans into God's hands. Pray, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. Because when we let go of control, we discover the peace that comes from trusting the one who holds tomorrow. Remember this, God's plan is greater, always.
Sometimes, what feels like a setback is actually a setup for something greater. God uses disappointments as divine appointments. That delay you are facing right now could be the very thing preparing you for blessings beyond your imagination. Remember, a seed does not grow into a tree overnight. It stays hidden in the soil, unseen, unnoticed, and often forgotten. But in that hidden place, God is working. In the same way, your waiting season is not wasted. It is preparation for the harvest that is coming. Think about Abraham. God promised him descendants as numerous as the stars, yet he had to wait for decades before Isaac was born. The wait was long, but the promise was sure. God never fails to fulfill what he has spoken. Sometimes we confuse silence with absence. Just because you can't hear God does not mean he is not working. A teacher is often silent during the test, but that silence doesn't mean the teacher has left the classroom. In the same way, God may feel silent, but he is watching, guiding and shaping you through the process. Maybe today you are carrying heavy questions in your heart. Why me? Why now? Why this pain? But instead of asking why, begin to ask what. God, what are you teaching me in this season? What do you want me to learn? What are you preparing me for? That small shift in perspective can change despair into hope. God never wastes pain. Every tear, every heartbreak, every disappointment, he will use it to strengthen you and bring glory to his name. Your brokenness today can become the testimony that inspires someone else tomorrow. So, don't be discouraged if life isn't going according to your plan. The author of your life has already written every chapter. And when you finally turn the page, you'll realize the story he wrote for you is far greater than the one you tried to write for yourself. If you got inspired by Jesus Christ, please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.